Good day, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to another technical summary video presented by me, Letty Janse van Vieren. My topic for today is the amendment to Directive 5 that was issued by the ASB, and that's relating to the reporting framework, right, the GRAP reporting framework. So you can immediately see we're moving into the public entity arena here. But let's have a quick look. I'm going to start off by looking at why this is important, going through an introduction, then an overview of the publication, and then I want to quickly take you through Appendix 1 of the directive, and then I'll give you links to the source documents to go and download those. But if you look at my picture story, I always try and tell a picture with my images on the right hand side. You'll see we are busy with the accounting, and the accounting on a various number of public entities, municipal, local government, and those ones. So that's the sphere that we are in. This is all about Directive 5, and Directive 5 gets amended on an annual basis, and that deals with, that sets out the GRAP reporting framework for a specific period. And this Directive 5 is revised and issued annually by the ASB, which is the Accounting Standards Board. The abbreviation is very simple, is only the ASB, like I've just said, and then GRAP, which is generally recognized accounting practice. Okay, GRAP is how you know that you are dealing with public entities. All right. For normal profit companies, we've got IFRS and IFRS for SMEs, but GRAP is the reporting framework for public entities. So let's go and have a look at why this is important. Well, as always, when we are dealing with information that is used as a reporting framework, we know that there needs to be fair presentation and compliance with the standards of GRAP. Non-compliance could maybe lead to a modified audit opinion. So as an auditor, an independent reviewer, and an accountant, you need to be aware of all the latest publications that have been issued by the relevant boards and the standard setters, like in this instance the ASB. So the exposure draft here on Directive 5 basically clarifies the principles, and it determines what the GRAP reporting framework is for the new year, from the 1st of April that we're moving into now. So then we've got relevance to your clients. Well, that relates to all public and other relevant entities. Well, they've got to use GRAP to compile their financial statements. So they've got to refer to the GRAP reporting framework, because the GRAP reporting framework and the annexure specifically will tell them which standards are applicable. And just as we have to be aware of the latest publications, your entities also need to be aware of the latest publications that have been issued by the Standards Board. So, going back to 2009, traveling back in time, that is when Directive 5 was originally issued for the first time. So, as a result of that, the Directive 5, what it basically does is it determines the GRAP reporting framework for a particular period, and the appendix or appendices then list the actual standards and pronouncements that form the GRAP reporting framework for that period. So the directive will say this is the GRAP reporting framework for period so and so and so, effective from such and such a date. And in the appendix, it'll say these are the standards. GRAP so and so, GRAP this, GRAP that, and all the other pronouncements. All the appendices are updated each year to include the reporting framework for the upcoming reporting period. So you'll see when we go into the new one now, it is all done for financial periods starting on or after the 1st of April 2024. Last year, they have proposed amendments to Directive 5. They approved it at the September 2023 meeting, and it was then issued now in April this year. And the appendix for the previous period, 2021-2022, was then deleted. Right. So the appendices, even though they are updated each year, some years like during COVID and before that, was a little bit lacking. Right. But entities, who are these entities that I keep referring to that have to apply Directive 5? Who are they? Well, they are public entities, constitutional institutions, municipalities, municipal entities, parliament and the provincial legislatures, trading entities, TVET, and then CET colleges. Right. So when you see this light blue, those are the entities that have to apply GRAP basically. The publication looks like this on the front page. That's what you can see. And they say here updated September 2023 because that's when they approved it at their board meeting. So that even though that's the date, they only issued this in April this year. So they then resolved to amend this directive, and the ED was then published in May 2024, just after this one, and that was then to provide for the 60-day commentary period. The comments were then requested by the 30th of June. So before the 30th of June, people can still provide comments, but a 60-day period really isn't that much, and I don't think people or the public sector really does comment that much on the GRAP reporting frameworks. But let's go and have a look at Appendix 1, because this is quite important. Appendix 1 this is what the front page looks like, and you'll see it's listed all the entities on there. So this is part of Directive 5. Remember, Directive 5 is not separate, and then there's Appendix 1. Yes, it's two documents, but Appendix 1 is actually part of Directive 5. So when it is issued or when it is revised on an annual basis or updated, that's what you need to remember. So in this appendix, what do we find in here? Well, it's a list of all the standards and all the pronouncements that are the GRAP reporting framework. And it's for which periods. This one is now effective, like we said, for periods that start on or after 1st of April 2024, because we know that the financial year ends on March. Right. And this appendix, everything in here must then be applied as it is set out in paragraphs 5 and 6 to Directive 5. So it's very important. The appendix cannot be it's not just a nice to have. The appendix is actually where the nuts and bolts is to say what the standards are, which GRAP standards are part of this, which ones were revised, because all the GRAP standards that get revised during the year, they are then included in this new Appendix 1. Right. Or the updated Appendix 1. So it becomes very important that public entities and the public TVET and the public CET colleges, the provincials, parliaments, all municipalities, all of those actually know what's potting, because they are the ones that have to do this in terms of the GRAP reporting framework. Yes, they get National Treasury issues templates for them to use, but they still need to know what it says in terms of the actual GRAP standards. The source documents that I've given you the links to is the actual Directive 5, and there's the link to that. And then Appendix 1 has its own link because it is a separate document. So you can go and follow the links and download both of those for your purposes if you want to. If you have any questions or you need more detail on this, remember that you can always follow any of these 5 steps on my Knowledge is Power slide. Technical alerts are published daily. I do the content for that, the technical content. SAAA will then post that on their LinkedIn profile. It is also uploaded to the SAAA website under the news section, so you can also follow it there. Then the SAAA YouTube channel, you can always go and subscribe there. There's lots of useful videos and information on there. And on the SAAA YouTube channel at this link, there's the link to it. You'll also find all my other TSVs that I've done. The TSVs in excess of 160 at this stage, short little summaries on a very wide variety of topics that you can access at any point in time. Right, it's on accounting, auditing, tax, company secretarial, legal, employment law, you name it. Sustainability, money laundering, whatever is relevant and technical, and I feel there's a summary needed, I then do that. Okay. The webinars on demand are also available on the SAAA website if you feel that you need a little bit more meat than just a 10 or 15 minute summary. The webinars are the 1 or 2 hour summaries. In the old days we used to have the 4-hour webinars, but none of us can concentrate for that long anymore. So those are all available to you as recordings. So you can find the recording and you can work at it through your own leisure. When you purchase the recording, you also get the slides and the source documents, everything that the presenter had as tools for that webinar. And then last but certainly not least, we've got our MCLU subscription, which is the method for you to stay up to date. We have a webinar once a month on it's called the monthly compliance and legislation update on a very wide variety of topics. And like this is a 10-minute summary on one topic. In the MCLU, it's like a 1 or a 2-minute, this is what's changed. So it's a like a very condensed version of even the TSV, but at least you are aware of what has changed, and you can then go and investigate further where you need more detail. Right, but that then, ladies and gentlemen, is it from my side. I just wanted to bring you a short little summary on the new proposed and the amended Directive 5 for the GRAP reporting framework. I trust that you enjoyed this TSV with me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.